What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, King Smokes, and today I have some information to give to y'all. And it's information about this world, man. The world that we live in, the world that we cherish, the world that we indulge ourselves in. I'm gonna start this video off with a question. What do you really know? You feel me? Like, what do you really know about the world that we live in? Is it a world? Is it a matrix? Like, what are we living in right now? And I'm asking this question because it's a question that not a lot of people ask. It's not a very commonly thought of question. But when thinking of the world that we live in, we don't really question what we live in. You feel me? Like there's a whole lot of shit that we can all attest to say that, this world's fucked up. But we never question it. So why is it that we never question the world that we live in? And I want to talk about the fact that although there's a lot of teachings and there's a lot of philosophical beliefs that we don't actually live in a real reality. You feel me? And I want to entertain this thought for a second because I can somewhat see how that would be a realistic assumption within our world. Because think about it right here, right? If you watch a lot of movies, there's two movies I highly recommend that every person watches to spiritually indulge themselves and intellectually enhance their ability to understand the world that we live in. You feel me? And so those two movies are The Matrix. If you haven't seen The Matrix, go see The Matrix. You might have to see it a couple of times to really understand the content that it has within it. But watch The Matrix and watch They Live. Now, They Live is a little bit of an older movie. Came out in the 80s, I believe. But it talks about society being controlled by aliens, which I believe is a possibility. Like, who's to say this world is not controlled by someone or something of an exterior world? Because let's think about this. Let's go a little bit deeper into this. Who controls the world that we live in? Do we control it? I don't believe we do. Personally, I don't believe that humans have control in this world. I believe that we've convinced ourselves that we have control, but we really don't. Because let me ask you a question. Everybody goes to church. All these people that go to church, I'm not doubting church. I'm not saying anything about church, you feel me? But people go to church and they read the Bible. They talk about the Bible. They say, who wrote the Bible? Now, I have a question about you. Who wrote the Bible that wrote the Bible? Because we all know that this Bible is not the original Bible. It's not the Old Testament. It is changed. This Bible is changed to be modernized. And so when you're changing old history, does that still make the history true? Does that still make the beliefs true? Does that still make the Testament true? You feel me? So, and when it comes to this, I'm gonna call this world a matrix because this world is more like a matrix to me than it is an actual world. Because the more I start to learn more spiritual shit about myself, the more I start to engage in spiritual acts, I get a lot more answers. You feel me? And it's like I kind of can't just keep all the answers to myself because I'm not that type of person. I got a whole YouTube channel to spread the information that I have. And so I want y'all to really understand me. When I say understand, I'm not talking about, listening to the words I'm saying and being like, oh, that doesn't make sense or that makes sense. But understand what I'm saying when I'm talking about this is not the real world, y'all. Like this world is a matrix. Like what I'm telling you right now is your dreams are more real than the world that we're living in right now. And if you've noticed, if you pay attention to your dreams, and if you're a person who is spiritually aware of themselves, you can pay attention that your dreams often give you an omen of what's going to happen in the future. You feel me? Your dreams are within a different dimension and a different realm. So it's giving you, and this is the thing I'm going to tell y'all when it comes to dimensions and realms. They're all linked together in some way, shape, or form. Now, I can't say that they're linked to look alike or be alike, but I'm saying The dreams that you have are not in this reality. They're not in this dimension. They're not into this matrix. They're outside of the matrix. So when you come back to the matrix, when you wake up, you wake up with more enlightened. But oftentimes people will go to sleep and they'll wake up and they'll continue their day as they normally do in this repetitive pattern like state. You feel me? And they don't really pay attention to the omens. Everything's a surprise to them. Nothing's a surprise to me anymore since I've started meditating, since I've started taking care of myself in a spiritual way. So nothing surprises me. I mean, when you really get into it, it's kind of like, damn. You just sit back and you're just like, damn, this shit's crazy. Because you can really sit back and see all the flaws within the matrix. You can really see all the shit that people don't see. And for me, having this type of enlightenment is very hard because imagine knowing something that 99% of the world doesn't know. Imagine that. And imagine every time you try and talk about it, people talk about you like you're fucking crazy, that you're insane. But they're not even entertaining the possibilities of what you've said. But they'll entertain the thoughts of what the media will say. And I believe that the media is not even controlled by people. I don't even believe that the people control that. The news stations and all the social media, I don't believe that people control that. I believe this world is ran by demons, by extraterrestrial beings or higher beings of a higher spiritual level than we are at. You feel me? And they have found a way to kind of play with the world that we live in. For instance, we were taught that the world was round. Okay? Entertain this thought from you. You have to understand me when I say this. If the world is round, right? And the moon rotates around the earth. The moon and the sun cannot be at the same place in the same time. Mathematically, it doesn't make fucking sense if we're going to have daytime in America and nighttime in China and Japan, the other side of the world, the other side of the globe, if the world is round, right? So tell me why every month I see the sun and the moon out at the same motherfucking time. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense, especially if the world is round. That can't happen. That can't happen. So entertain that thought for me. Y'all can think I'm fucking crazy. Y'all can say whatever the fuck y'all want. I really don't care. I know what I'm talking about, and I stick to my own beliefs, and I stick to what I've learned throughout my own spiritual journey. So I'm not going to force my own beliefs on y'all. I'm just going to tell you what they are. You feel me? And that's up for debate. That's up for discussion at any time. Just comment on the video. But yeah, just try and question the world that we live in, man. Because this world is not what you see. What you see with your two eyes is literally like 1% of the actual world we live in. And that's a God-given truth, bro. Everything's deeper than what you think it is. Everything. Everything has a point. Everything has an agenda. Everything has a lesson. So once you realize that and you really understand that, this world is very easy to navigate. But if you don't understand that, you're going to struggle. You're going to face a lot of pain, a lot of sadness, a lot of depression, a lot of feelings that I just can't relate to right now. I just can't. And so make sure that y'all do that, man. And I'm out.